If you can't get on a plane to fly to Mexico for a vacation and turn your phone off without everything falling apart inside of your business, I am sorry, you don't own a business, you have a job. The sad reality is that most business owners built their business in a way that completely depends on them to run, and I know this because I live this. When I first started my agency, I was waking up at 4 a.m. full with tasks and not finishing work until 8, 9 p.m. and rinsing and repeating every single day. It got to a point where I broke up with my girlfriend. I wasn't present with anything. I was getting out of shape because I designed my business in a way that relied on me. But what finally allowed me to break out of that and be able to work on my business and not in my business all the time was building systems, and specifically using AI. With where AI is right now and the rate that it's improving, most of your operations can be automated with AI instead of people. You no longer have to manage people, deal with human error. You can have every part of your business run with absolute efficiency and making it more and more profitable for you at the same time. Today, I want to help you by showing you those systems and walk you through how you can build them for yourself so that you can run things on autopilot. Before we dive into this, let me tell you a little bit about why business owners get stuck in this cycle, and really myself included. When I first started my business, I scaled because I had a skill set. People wanted my ability to help them scale on social media, get more clients through social media. But eventually what happened is I got a few clients. I got 2 clients, I got 3 clients, I got 5 clients, I got 6 clients. For me, I was just trying to add more revenue and do more things to help my clients scale. But the problem is I was really just running out of hours in the day. And I looked back and I realized that I didn't build a business. I was really just creating a expensive job for myself, essentially. And I had 6 different people that were paying me. I was doing everything from emailing the clients through editing the videos, sending the videos to the clients, managing responses, doing sales, doing the videography, doing the photography, doing the graphic design. I was doing everything myself. And this is the same cycle I see a lot of other business owners get into is, they scale because they have a skill set, but they don't realize that they are just adding more work to their plate that can easily be delegated, automated, or frankly, eliminated. And for me, and what I see a lot with other business owners is this leads to burnout. Like you're constantly working in the business, not on the business. I remember working throughout the night to try to get edits done that were due the next day and just repeating that cycle. It kind of felt like Groundhog Day. I was doing the same thing over and over and over again because I just had more stuff to do. And I would wake up feeling anxious because I would have a to-do list of client deliverables that needed to get done, clients that I needed to get back to. The second thing is inefficiencies. While we were scaling, while I was adding more to my plate, while I was getting more clients, that felt super, super cool. And on paper, it looked like, dude, you're scaling, you're growing, you're crushing it in the business. But behind the scenes, I was doing everything myself and I was really handling all of the tasks that easily could have been delegated or automated, and really tasks that are actually $5, $10 an hour tasks that aren't what's best for the business and what's actually going to move the business forward. The third thing is time scarcity. One thing I learned the hard way is the number 168. And 168 is how many hours are in a week. And for me, I was working what felt like 168 hours in the business constantly all of the time. And because we're running out of hours that we can physically work in the business ourselves, we run out of cap. We run out of the ability to make more money. We run out of the ability to add more clients because we hit that ceiling, which leads me to my last and final point is you can't scale without systems because 1, you're going to run out of time, run out of hours in the day to actually do work. And then 2, you can't scale chaos. If you're doing everything yourself, if things are chaotic, if you don't have process for things inside of your business, it's going to be a mess and it's going to be super, super hard to scale. I mean, I tried to scale with chaotic systems. I would basically hire people thinking that the next hire was going to be my solution to being able to scale. I would throw them in the deep end only to watch them sink because I didn't have systems. I didn't have processes in place that would allow them to actually do well. And really the turning point for me was when I hired a mentor, and the mentor said that systems run the business and people run the systems. And really business is not our identity. It's not who we are. Like I was really proud that I was a #entrepreneur. It is a system. And once we build that system that runs our business, then we can plug people in to work that system. And this can be everything from an operating system, a fulfillment system, a lead gen system, a content creation system. We literally have over 12,000 tasks being automated and systematized. And we have a library of hundreds of standard operating procedures and a full operating system that literally runs our business for us. So what exactly is an AI system and what makes it different? Well, traditionally what we would do is build a project management system. We would hire somebody to work the system. But with that comes the caveat of, being an employer, sick days, off days, and naturally human error. But with the rise of AI and the AI agents and automations and all these different tools out there, we can now build automations once, let it run forever. It lacks human error. And all we need to do is we need to make sure that the technology is true trained on what it is that's in our head so that we can then have the technology work the system for us. So instead of systems run the business, people run the systems, we can use systems run the business, AI can run the systems in a lot of different ways. But what I really want to do is I want to teach you the exact process that I use to identify and build these systems so that you can follow the same process inside of your business, no matter what the business is, because likely your business is a little bit different than mine. First step is a time audit. So basically what I'm going to train people to do, or what I do, is I look at my week and I have a section where I'm writing down everything that I'm doing throughout my day and documenting it. So for example, what I will do is I will say something like, cool, I'm, creating content ideas. Okay. And this takes me 1 hour a week, or let's do 2 hours a week. And I'll quantify all of the tasks. I'm sending contracts to clients 1 hour a week. I'm onboarding clients 30 minutes a week. I am sorting through sales calls to review. Let's call this 2 hours a week. I am sending reminders of our group calls. This takes 2 hours a week. I'm writing email campaigns. This takes 2 hours a week as well. I'm responding to clients 1 hour a week. I'm posting on social media 3 hours a week. So this is just a light example of what a time audit could look like. There's probably going to be a lot more depending on where you're at in the business, but this is what it should look like. It should have the name of the task, what you're doing, and then you should quantify it from a weekly basis. Then what we're going to do is we're going to create a few different buckets. Bucket number 1 is going to be automate. Bucket number 2 is going to be delegate. Bucket number 3 is going to be eliminate. And then bucket number 4 is going to be optimized, because a lot of our processes could be automated, delegated, eliminated, or optimized with something like AI. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and look at all of the tasks inside of my content or inside of my time audit, and I'm going to begin to figure out, okay, cool, what bucket does this belong in? I guess another bucket could be keep for now. Okay. I'm going to go through all of my time audit tasks, creating content ideas. This can 1000% be automated. Okay. Sending contracts to clients, completely automated. Onboarding clients, completely automated with AI. Sorting through sales calls to review, completely optimized. Sending reminders for our group calls, completely automated. Writing emails for our email campaign, automated. Responding to clients, probably optimized for now. Posting on social media, completely automated. So for this example, a lot of our tasks can be automated using AI. I didn't put any in delegate, eliminate, or keep, but now what we can then see, like, it's really obvious that creating content ideas could be automated. That is a very easy automation to do. Sending contracts, 100% could be automated, which we're going to show you a little bit later on. Onboarding clients, completely automated. Sending reminders, completely automated. Sorting through sales calls to review. We can optimize that process just to make it easier. And now what we have is a list of all the tasks that we're doing so that we can then buy back time to do this. I mean, if we count the hours here, 2, 3, 3.5, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10.5 hours that we could save if we were to automate. And this is on a per week basis for this example. Pretty freaking cool. And now once we have the list of things that we can automate or optimize, what we're going to do is we're going to figure out, what tools do I need to use in order to make this happen? What is the workflow that I need to define in order to make this happen, for this to be automated or optimized or whatever it is that we're deciding to do? Let's use the example of creating content ideas. I think this would be really good for something like a chip.ai AI agent, where we can just build an AI agent that will create content ideas and we'll train it really well and make this super, super efficient. So we're not sitting there creating content. Cool. Sending contracts to clients. This is probably going to be a Zapier thing, right? Because with Zapier, what we're able to do is we're able to automate multiple tasks between multiple different tools. Onboarding clients, same thing here. That's going to be a Zapier thing. Sending reminders of our group calls. That's probably going to be a Zapier thing. Writing emails for our campaigns. That's probably going to be an AI agent. Posting on social media. That could be a Zapier or the hundreds of tools that are out there that will automatically do this for us. Now I know what I'm going to automate and the tool that I'm going to use to automate. Now what we need to do is we need to define the workflow for each task or each thing that we're trying to firstly automate. For creating content ideas, I could literally just use Chip and I could build a prompt inside of Chip where users can go in and say, create me some content ideas that's trained on our voice, gives us hooks to choose, and it'll write scripts based off of that hook. Sending contracts to clients. Cool. What is the workflow going to be here? What we're going to do is we're going to create a form, and from the form, we're going to create the contract, and that's automatically going to be sent to client. And based off of these tasks, what is it that we want to automate? What is it that we want to actually happen inside of these tasks using a Chip AI agent or a Zapier type of tool? And how do we make sure that we use this efficiently and make sure that it follows the process that we have laid out that we're already following, probably in our heads? And then what we just need to do is we just need to simply build them based off of the workflow that we've done. What I want to do, because you're watching this video because you've made it this far, is I'm going to just build one of these and I'll show you exactly how to do it. And I'll show you using both tools. Let's go ahead and use the creating content ideas. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use a tool called chip.ai. And let's just say I have a content team, and from the content team, I want them to be able to build system that, they can just type in, hey, create me some content ideas based off of what you know about us, and go ahead and give me ideas based off of what you know about me. And I'm going to make sure that it's trained on what it is that we actually do. With Chip, basically what we need to do is we need to create an app, essentially, and I could just call this content creation helper. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and create the prompt using an AI agent. The success of the AI agent depends on how successful your prompt is. So we have basically a prompt script right here, essentially. I'm just going to go ahead and copy this whole prompt, which basically is giving it the format of the kind of posts that we want it to be creating. So it's giving us the format of the post. Obviously ours is very, very long, but really in the format of the prompt, there's a couple key points that you would need to build, which is the overview, behavior to avoid, important context of this, an offer breakdown, so it has context on what you do, client avatar, any case studies, and then basically the SOP for videos, if we're going to have it build videos, the SOP for creating tweets, if you wanted to create tweets, or X, or whatever you wanted to call it, the SOP for creating carousels, if you want to create carousels. And then down below, we will have these overall strategy of the content. So if there's specific formats that you want it to use, you want it to make sure you use a hook, etc., etc. Super, super important. Then down below, it has a step-by-step instructions. Basically, what we're doing is we're doing step one, we're going to select the content type. So is this going to be a carousel, a video, whatever it's going to be. Then step number two, we're going to basically come up with some topics, like what's the topic that you want to talk about. Then step number three is we're going to pick the hook. What's the hook? Then step number four, it's going to be content generation. So it's actually going to create the content based off of it. And then the next step could be, hey, do you want this in a different format? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and paste my prompt in here, and I'm going to open this bad boy up. And under the offer breakdown, I'm going to do is I just need to add in my offer breakdown. So I'm just going to simply go to something like a ChatGPT, and I'm going to say, give me an offer breakdown for my business. I help agencies scale their business using systems. They're the bottleneck. They want to scale to 50K a month without burning out. They want to build a team, etc. Make it very in-depth with target customer, pain points, desired outcomes, etc. Speak the language of the clients, make it polarizing. I'll create basically an offer overview so that I can give the AI agent context. And then obviously if you're doing this with me right now, you'd want to make sure that this is in fact valid and this is in fact what you teach. What we can do is we'll go ahead and copy this into our offer breakdown. And then I'm just going to say, now give me a client avatar. What we're basically doing is we're just feeding this AI with proper information. I can go ahead and copy and paste that in the client avatar. So that should be good for now. So with the prompt of training them of what's the purpose of AI agent that we're building, what's the overview, what's behavior to avoid, what are the step-by-step processes, I now have a content creation helper essentially that I can equip my team with to no longer spend hours coming up with content ideas. And I just basically cut that down probably in a 10th. So let's go ahead and test this out. So now I can just go ahead and click on start as a conversation starter, and I can go ahead and test this bad boy out. And we can see, cool, let's do a video script. Why not? And then it'll give me some hook options, which is pretty cool. Why agency owners can't take vacations. Love that. Then it'll give me actual hooks that I'm going to use in the video. Let's try number 3. And from that, it now gives me a 60-second script optimized for Reels. And it basically just wrote me the script. Pretty solid copy here. Look, I get it. You've built your agency to $20,000 a month, but every client, every deliverable, every emergency, it all runs through you. Your team either can't handle things with you, or worse, you don't even have a team because you're scared to hire. Here's the truth. Adding more clients is the answer. You don't need more hustle. You need an operating system. Think about it. What if every project had documented SOPs they could actually follow? What if every dashboard showing you exactly what's happening instead of being tagged in every Slack message? This is exactly how we help agency owners build real systems, real delegations, and real freedom. Wonderful. So this is an example of an AI system that we can build for our team so that our business can run based off of AI, less brain power, more AI, And now we can plug people in to create hundreds of these for us every single month, and we never run out of content ideas because this is trained on exactly what our business is. Okay, let's use another example. So let's go back to our little Miro board here. Sending contracts to clients. Cool. What we do is we use a tool called Notion where we have forms. This is our agency operating system, essentially what we use. And inside of our map, we have what's called a sales intake form. And basically what we do is anytime this form is filled out, this triggers a contract being sent to the client using Zapier. But every contract is different. Every client is different. How do I make sure that I actually get this set up appropriately? Well, we use Zapier and we use the form to make sure we're getting all the information from the client. For example, what is the client's name, first name, last name, email address, contract start date, deliverables, invoice amount, invoice terms, length of contract, etc., etc. And what we do is we use a tool called Zapier that will automatically send a contract using e-signatures. So inside of Zapier, what I'm doing is I'm having the trigger be this form is filled out. And once the form is filled out, what it's going to do is it's going to send a contract to the client. We use a tool called e-signatures, and it's going to automatically populate information that was pretty much put in that form. So first name, the signer's email, the company's name, and then it's going to add in all of the variables that you put in the form. So invoice amount, invoice terms, all that sort of stuff will automatically be added to the contract. So the contract looks something like this, and they have placeholder fields. And from Zapier, we can basically say, put this form answer in this placeholder field, and it will automatically do it. So we don't need to basically log into our contracts every single time and manually send a contract. And what's happening is when that form is filled out, this is creating the contract and sending it automatically and automatically putting the placeholder fields in there. And then furthermore, when the contract is signed, we're going to send them a welcome email. And in the welcome email, we're going to send them an onboarding form. And then once they fill out the onboarding form, then we're going to send them an onboarding calendar where they can book a call. So now what used to take 2 hours is now completely automated, and we fully automated our onboarding, which is not only going to provide an excellent experience for the clients, but it's also going to save you a lot of time and headaches. Again, we automate 12,000 tasks just like this, saving us hours and hours every single month. And it is simply following this process, doing the time audit, bucketing the tasks that we're doing in automate, delegate, eliminate, optimize, or keep, and then figuring out what are the tools that I need to do. Is this an AI agent that can optimize it? Is this Zapier that I'm going to connect multiple tools, and really just rinse and repeating this whole process once we've defined the workflow for every single thing that we're trying to do. And there's a lot of other tools out there like N8N, Make.com. I'm not saying that these are the tools that you need to use. This is just what I like to use inside of my business. So if you're a business owner and you have no idea where to start with systems, if you click the link down below, you will be directed to basically get what's on the screen here, which is a whole agency operating system. And this agency operating system is really the foundation of building your business with systems. This is something that I wish I had when I first started. And this will really give you the infrastructure to start being able to scale your business with systems, not chaos. This is the same infrastructure that I use to scale to multiple 7 figures a year. And this is the same system that I've taught to over 500 agency owners on how to build their business. So if you want this same system and you're watching this and you're super motivated with systems, then click the link down below and we'll send this over to you. So we have a ton of different AI agents and a ton of different systems that we automate. For example, we have an AI agent that is fed all of our sales calls. And if me as a manager or my co-founder Gilberto wants to go in and see what is the top objection from all the sales calls, because we're doing analysis, because we want to make sure our marketing is sticking, then we can just ask the AI agent and it'll give us the top objections that we're hearing for customers, which allows us to then create marketing based off of those objections. We also have a section where we have all of our wins and all of our case studies. And if I'm on a call with a prospect and they're struggling with lead generation and I want to send them some wins of people that we've helped with lead generation, then I just type in the AI agent and it sends me YouTube videos. It sends me specific wins that are going to speak directly to the prospect, which is going to help them and reiterate the decision that they want to move forward with us. And I even have one that will write personalized lines based off of Instagram profiles. All I need to do is screenshot somebody's Instagram. We'll take mine, for example, go to the Instagram opener AI agent. I just go ahead and post the photo of the screenshot, click on send, and it will automatically create some openers for cold outreach. And boom, 5 different options of cold openers that I could send to potential clients or people that followed me or people that I'm just trying to get their attention of. And this is pretty spot on. We have Zapiers for reminders, Zapiers for sending client updates, Zapiers for sending thank you emails based off of actions happening. There's so much that we can automate and it's only going to get better and better. And I would say this has saved us easily over 100 hours per week. And these are the same systems that we teach to agencies who are also doing the same thing inside inside of their business. It's pretty much like having 4 full-time employees working 24/7, but without the payroll. Now, if you've been keeping up with the news, you'll know that ChatGPT Agent just came out and it is powerful. This is an amazing opportunity to build AI systems inside of your business. But you might not know how to use it, which is why in this video on the screen, you can learn a ton of different hacks on using ChatGPT if you want to build AI systems inside of your business. I will see you on that one.